or morning or evening, wherever you are. It's Anne, and welcome to my channel. So it's been a while since I've made a video. I've been really busy. Been rearranging all my crafting supplies, and I've moved into one of our bedrooms. I've got all my painting and jelly plates and all that all set up in there, so much easier. I don't have to pull stuff out. I can just have it all set up, and I can just go in there and have some fun when I feel like it, and then I can just leave it, you know, with minimal having to pack things up and put things away and all that, which is, when you're working in quite a small space, this space here I share with my husband. We have a bench, and we both have one end each, sort of thing. So I'm having this area here more for because I got my computer here. I'm going to do my sort of drawing and that sort of stuff here mostly, and fabrics and all that, sewing and all that. I'll do that here, and then most of my painting I will do in my other area now. So that's really good. That's really nice. And I had to sort through all my bits of paper into more manageable categories, I hope. So everything's sort of really sorted out, which is good, makes me feel better. I can feel more organised and know where everything is now. So that was a big job. I've sort of been doing that for the last, probably over a month. I've covered a lot of boxes. I'll show you this one here. And I've just a shoe box that I've, taken the top and that off. And then I've just, that's my mum and dad when they were young. So I've just covered these with all my, I've used a big heap of my scrappy papers doing that. So these are all covered, and I made them really strong. So I've done this one, I've showed you before. This is when I just sort of used full sheets. I think I like this better. It's much more stronger because it's a lot more layers. So I've made a few of these, and also got other bits and pieces that I've made. I'll show you. I made an insert. This is my drawer now and I actually made this insert out of the same thing. I just made it out of cardboard and covered it. Made it so it would fit exactly, and then I've got my pens and all that sort of stuff in here. So that was a lot of work, but it was really good. Because you can't find things that fit exactly, organisers that fit exactly in your drawers and to be the way that you want them. So I made that, and that's really great. Now I've got all my pens and pencils and that sort of stuff in there. So that's really good. So yeah, I've done a lot of sorting. So when you got a lot of stuff, I've got a lot of stuff. Yeah, it does get hard to know how to sort it out. So anyway, that's done. And I've also been doing a lot of, I've got a lot of projects on the go at the same time. So I've sort of been working on lots of different things. So I'll show you this is one of the things I have working on. I want to make I love flowers, so I wanted to make like a flower journal. So this actually is a piece of paper bag. When you do shopping, I order online, and then they bring the shopping to me. It's kind of lazy, but it's really nice. I have to travel a fair way to go shopping, so it's good. So, and I'll get paper bags. I get so much of them. I put a lot of them in the recycling bin, but I've decided to start really using them now because it is really strong paper, brown paper. So that's what this piece is. On this side, I did on my jelly plate. There's a lot of. I sanded it back because I used a lot of texture paste on this piece, and I sanded it back there's coffee dye, there's inks and all sorts of stuff. And in the middle I reinforced it with thicker. I did it many layers, well, about 3 or 4 layers together, I think. And then I just, this is just a piece of, I think it's greaseproof paper that I have made on the jelly plate and stamps and all sorts of things. And then I did collaging on here. This is a flower. I actually did it as a resist for the jelly plate. So it's done with biro, and afterwards I loved the way it turned out, so I kept that. I just loved the colouring and that, so then I just enhanced it a bit more with some pen and stuff. So that turned out really sweet. So I've so I did collage, and then I sort of glued it, and then I did stitching, hand stitching on there, and then I just made a little cluster here that I've glued and stitched on as well. And then I just made this is some fabric that when I was jelly printing, I just grabbed a big pile of my scrap fabrics, and I just used them to wipe things up, and so that's one of these pieces. And then I did some stamping on there with some what do you call it, the Distress Oxide inks. And this is just more collage on this side. I love how it's turned out. It's turned out really sweet, and it feels really nice. It's quite sturdy. So inside, what I've done is, this here is we call this butcher's paper here in Australia. I bought a big pack from a shop called Officeworks. They had a pack of, so this is a piece here, I'll show you. So there's 50 sheets. 50 sheets, and I think it cost me about $10. I do lots of scribbling, and because I will also use this in my collage eventually, once that's all sort of full of paint and whatnot. This is just very thin pieces of this paper, and I cut them all up, because I'll show you why I've done it like this. And then I've used, this is rice paper that I've reinforced it, and I've got 2 signatures, and then in the middle I've just put a bit of calico, which is just 100% cotton, in between, just so things won't tear out, because I did stitch this in with the sewing machine, and I did that on this signature as well. So I think I've got about 12 pages all up. And what I'm going to do is, I'm not actually going to draw on this paper. What I've been doing is I'm making these. I've got a drawing book, or whatever you want to call it, with these pages in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on these pages, and then I'm going to glue them in. I think I'm going to glue them in. I was thinking, I'm not sure, I might glue and do some more stitching, you know, around the edges, once I get 2 on there, and do it at the same time. So this is going to be my flower journal. So this is a collage. This here is watercolour on rice paper. So I did a watercolour rose on the rice paper, and then I collaged it on. And this is just a bit of the eyelet lace fabric that I've stitched and then stitched onto it. And this is just a bit of the rice paper that I've sort of made into a bit of a flower with a button on there. As you can see, the stitching on there. So I'm thinking I'll probably glue it in. Once I have 2 pieces, then I will glue them in, and then I will stitch them all at the same time. So I just want it to do this way, so I can really play with it and do stitching and doing all sorts of stuff on it. It's much easier if you want to take it to the sewing machine. And so I've done a couple of more. So this is the rice paper that I've done the watercolour on. So I've just done a couple. I just do it in the evening here when I'll bring up Pinterest and I'll have a look for flowers that I wanna do, and I just want to do loose and just beautiful vibrant colours. So I thought I would do another one today with you. So I'll put this aside for now, and I think I'll do this one. What I'll do is I'll tear them out so they're, you know, approximately the right size sort of thing, depending on what I'm going to do. I'll put this one away. That will be for another time. Yeah, so I'll just bring up what I call Pinterest and just have a look for some flowers that I want to draw on here. Sorry, just having some coffee. And the other thing I've been working on, so what I'm doing, this I can tell you about other things that I'm working on. So I'm just going to bring my papers over. I've got scraps here. Lots of scraps. I've just got another little container that I've covered for scraps, just to keep when I'm working, I can just keep my little pieces in there. This is, the other thing I started doing is the sewing paper, the tissue sewing paper, and I've just started drawing on there, doodling on there, just so I've got lots of different types. This is crease paper, or like deli paper that I've stamped and inked and whatnot. I've got two here, actually. I've got another tray here with more bits and pieces on it. So it's just a lot easier just to pull out a big bunch, and then I just have them on here while I have a play. Alright, so I might use a bit of this for the yellow. I think I might use a bit of that yellow. I'll just tear that off. I'll just pop that back in there. And I want a bit of, I might use that as well. And I want a bit of text. And what else? Just an assortment of things. I'll try a bit of that as well. What else have I got here? That's got all sorts of stuff here. A bit on the neutrally, a bit more text there. I love the text. And a bit of there. Different, like lots of different sort of sized writing as well. I'll grab a piece of this. This is just printed. Let me have a look in here. I want some. Actually, this is the neutral, so I don't need that. Actually, going to grab. Oh, I need to grab some. I need to grab some coloured stuff. So, what have I got in here? Just want sort of bits and pieces of colour to put in there. This is very hard, so I'm not going to put that in there. I'll make it too firm. I might have a little bit of that. I'll pull that out. Just looking for sort of small patterns, not too big. Might need to have a bit of a look through some of my other. I might just pull out my. Just going to pull out one of my other boxes. So I've got painted papers in this one. And these are printed, these are for magazines and printed. watercolour. I'll just keep that out. Actually, this is, I won't use this because this is actually, what's it called now? This is linen paper. So I don't think I'll use that for this. I'll keep that for, I actually was using that for when I'm out of journal, so I might just leave that. Oh, I love that, so I'll grab some of that. I was looking for some, oh, that pattern there, that might look good. And I might grab a bit of this. This will look really nice in there too. Okay. Got my glue stick and everything. Now let's just randomly start putting some paper down there. Yeah, so one of my other projects that I'm working on, I've made some digital papers, and the theme is Indian summer. So it's very orange, pink, purples, reds, that sort of colour scheme, yellow. Actually, I don't want that. I'm just going to, I don't want that edge. I don't want that edge. I'll just turn these ones over. I just want the writing. I don't want that edge on there. Oh, that's probably a little bit of... No, I'm not going to use that. I don't think I'm going to use that. Let's grab some of this. This is just a bit of magazine. I think I have, yeah, I have, it's got a bit of matte medium or something on it. Must have been a little bit, oh yeah, it is a little bit shiny paper. It really does. So you can see how shiny, I don't know if you can, maybe. You can see it's quite shiny. But the matte medium really does take that shine away, which is great. I'm going to pop that there. Bring it up a little bit. And I don't know if I've got enough different stuff. Oh, hang on, I've got some of this. Use some of this. Now I'm just looking at that. That's a bit of a, you can see that I've got a bit of a misprint on there where the ink hasn't printed properly, so I don't mind it though, actually. I think a bit of it will be fine, even though it's the printer has had a bit of a malfunction, probably running out of ink, I think. Actually, which reminds me, I do need to keep an eye on there. I've got one of those ink tanks printers. Highly recommend them. If you do a lot of printing, they're fantastic. You get so many prints. And for the ink, I mean, those little cartridges you buy are so expensive and you hardly get any prints at all. So if you do a lot of printing, I highly recommend it. Anyway, back to my Indian summer. So I'm sort of thinking, in my mind, I've got this journal, a very like sari silks and a lot of fabric, textiles, beads. That's sort of what I've got in my mind for this journal. And also paper along with the textiles. So very mixed media. And also my digitals will go in there as well. And yeah, I'm just loving that idea. So a lot of times when I have an idea, I have it kind of like, I don't do a lot of like mind mapping or putting things down on paper. I do a little bit, but most of my planning just goes on in my head and my thinking. I think about it for a long time before I start doing things, and it just sort of percolates. And I might pop that there, and then I just sort of, once I feel like I sort of got enough ideas and things going on in my mind, and I will actually start to make, like I have started to make things for it. I have made, like I said, I've made papers, I've done some, I've got to do more jelly printing for it, just to get the colours that I want. And yeah, I'm very excited about this journal that's upcoming in the very near future. I'm going to pop that there. And the good thing about, what I like about talking when I'm collaging is you don't think too much about your collaging. I don't like, I'm going to put this over here. Is that torn? Yeah. I don't like to think about too much. I think I get too stuck when I'm thinking too much about things. Then I will start umming and ahhing over it. You know, oh, should that be going there? Oh, I'm not sure. You know, I second guess myself too much. I like just to try and be spontaneous and just go with the flow and just do it. And I mean, most of the time everything just turns out beautiful. It really, well, it works for me anyway. That's what works. I mean, you have to find what you do and find what works for you and do that. Because because I have a lot of trouble with second guessing and umming and ahhing and not sure, you know, trying to making decisions basically, really. So I find the best way is just to blast through it, kind of thing, and just do it and don't think. Right, let me see. Now, the other thing I do when I'm doing these is I think, because this paper you will see through it, so I do really like to have the text coming through behind it. Now, I'm just thinking that's going to go in the book, and it doesn't matter which way I put it. Let me see, I'm thinking of putting the flower this way this time, and having that, because that flower has the leaf missing, and having that edge up here. So, I have got some, I think I will put more text here. I think I will just put text down here. So, let me find, I want some different size text. Let me see. Might put a little bit of that just here, because that is pretty. And I love the colour. So that's one of my other projects that I'm sort of got currently in the works. The other thing I have got currently in the works is I've got I have many journals in the works actually. Another one that I want to work on is a little doodle journal. So just full of jelly prints, and I'm slowly working through it and also doodling and adding more stuff to it. That's another one. Another one is a journal that I started a year or two ago, a junk journal. That's very junk journaly. It is mostly just junk journaling, no mixed media. Well, junk journal is mixed media really, because you are combining lots of different things. But it's got like more of a vintage theme. So I want to finish that one, so I've got to work on that one. And I have, I'm just looking up in my little space where I put all my, and I've got other journals in there too. And I also have this little sewing book that I started a year or so ago. I really want to work on that and get this finished. So I've pulled out some, I'm thinking I want to put that one on there, and so I've just started, like you see, I've just been pulling things out and just having a look and having a think about where I want to go. So I've got a few pages here to complete. So, so many projects. And just, oh look here, look at this text here. I'm thinking I'm going to see if that's going to work for me. If that's going to, I think it might be alright actually. I'll pop this here. See, I'm starting to think a bit too much, so I'm just going to do it. Alright, I'm just going to stick it on there. Stick that bit on there. I might just grab one more piece. Grab one more piece of, let me see what's in here. Just wanted some different sort of text. And maybe just a little bit of that just there. Just get rid of these sharp edges. I might just pop that there, just to add a little more. Just put it the other way so the text is not running the same way. Okay, so I think that's good now. So I'm going to start tearing this out. And I'll just tear it with my fingers, because I like and I keep some of these pieces because then I'll just go and pop some more colour on it, and that's what I did with this little flower that I made. Bit of a stylised kind of a flower. It's just pieces of the rice paper that I've just blotched a bit of watercolour on and made into a watercolour, into a flower, sorry. These little pieces are not going to be worth it, but I'll keep these ones because you never know. I might find a use for them. I am a bit of a hoarder. Hoarding all these little bits of paper, and oh my goodness, what do you do? Because I know as soon as I throw things away, then I think, oh, I could have used that. I'll find some way of using it. I tried to be a little bit, and not get too carried away. I don't want to have like a hoarder's house or anything. Not by that standards anyway. Let me see. I wonder if I should put it a little bit on. I'm wondering if I should put it like that. I'm wanting to put it like that, and what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to draw the rest of that leaf in so it's coming off the page. Is what I'm going to do, because I like that there, just there like that. Alright, I'm going to grab my Liquitex matte medium. I love this. just ordered a big, huge litre, well, it's nearly a litre, just a little bit shy of a litre, and it was a really good price from a art store. Hello, baby. You want to pop down? There you go. Yeah, it was a really good price. I think $63 or something. I think the last time I bought a big bottle of that cost me, oh, it must have cost me like nearly $100. So, I'll be very, I don't use it for everything because it is very expensive. But it does last me a long time. I mean, I bought this bottle here a long time ago. So let me get just the glue stick and I just pop it on here, and the good thing about the matte medium is because this will soak through, and it does actually seal the watercolour to some degree, so it doesn't actually run anymore, because I do put a lot on here. Okay, now let me just grab that. I mean, I could use, oops, I just tore that off, but that's alright, I can fix that. That's the good thing about the rice paper, you can't really see that sort of thing. Okay, let me just get my brush. And I just have to be careful with it. It's a little bit fragile when it's wet. Not do too much vigorous brushing on there. Okay, I think that's good. Yes, been loving doing the ink. It's just one of those. What am I using? I'm using one of these pens. No, not that one. I have lots of different ones, but this is the one I've been using lately. It's an art line drawing, so it's water resistant. It's pigment ink, water based, water resistant, acid free and all that. Size 4. That's what I've been using to do. I have lots of different ones that I use, but it's all the same sort of thing. Okay, so I'm going to have to let that dry. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'll just come back when it's dry. I think it'll be the best way. Alright, I'll be back in just a second for you. Okay. Alright, it's not quite dry yet, but I just had, I was sitting here looking at it and thinking I wanted to add some more things to it. So I just pulled out a little paper doily, and this is a little birdie thing that I printed out on my Cricut a very long time ago. I've just got a little container that I've kept some of these bits and pieces. Didn't come out very well, so you see it's torn. This is just a bit of printer paper that I have tea dyed and coffee dyed that I've put through the Cricut and cut out different things. And what I did was I just got my distressed oxide brushes and ice spruce, and the other one is, I think it's ground espresso, and I just I didn't grab any more ink, I just used what was on the brushes and just brushed around them, and I just sprayed a little bit of water on them just to activate it a bit. And I'm thinking of putting this one here, and I'm going to put on this edge, I just want to use little pieces of it, so just grab my scissors. I think what I might do is I might actually just glue it on and then cut it off. I'm just using some more of this matte medium. Like so. And then I'm just going to, oh no, it's not stuck on properly. this old vintage paper. I find that just sucks in the glue like nobody's business. Very dry, and then it takes a lot of glue. And just let me grab my scissors and I'll just cut that off. And I'll grab another piece of it for down here, like so. To be a bit more generous with the glue. Something like that. Cut that off. And I'm wondering if I should have a little piece here as well. Yeah, I think so. See, that's enough glue. Just a little piece. Just there. And my little birdie. I'm thinking with the little birdie, I'm going to, once it's all dry, I will use my pen and sort of highlight him a little bit so you can see him a little better. But I'm going to have to let all that dry now. Just put some more of that matte medium around here. I'll seal it all in. Alright, so I will come back once everything's dried properly now. And we might go and do a little more highlighting on these bits. Oops, I just realised I wasn't recording. So anyway, all I've done was I just got a couple of these inks out, spice marmalade and mustard seed, and I went over with pen. So I just went around the outside and just defined it a little bit. I'm thinking, and then I'm just using these just to add a little bit of colour. A little bit to the birdie. Putting some of this orange on there. And a little bit to the I'm not real happy with that. I like this. This turned out cute. But this here, I'm not sure. Just wondering if I should do some more doodling on it. Oh, I'm thinking I might. Let me see what happens. I'm going to have some more of this spiced ground espresso, I mean, sorry. I'm just going to see if I can put a little bit in the holes. Now, what happens when I add a bit of water to it? And I'm wondering if I should actually No, I think I'm going to leave it. I'm going to have to leave that to dry. Going to have to leave that to dry, I think. I'm just going to grab a... See if I can get rid of a bit of that. I don't like that line I put there. No, it's not going to come off. It's permanent, so I might just have to... Actually, when it's dry, what I might do is just add a little piece over it, I think, but I don't like that. I don't like the fact that I went down with the pen there. So I think I'm just going to have to let that dry. Maybe run a little bit of it off. Maybe use a little bit of my leftover. Just mop it up a little bit. Yeah, I think I like that better now. So I'm not happy with that there, but it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. I'm just adding a little bit more darkness just to some of the edges. I think that's, oh, I forgot about that piece there, didn't I? Alright, let me just go around there. Can't see. And I'll just add a little bit of and I'll just add a little bit of orange there. I wonder if I should do that to these ones as well. Spread that a little bit. Oh, I like that. Are you hungry? Hey, you little meower. I think I'll let that dry and we'll come back and have a look to see how it all turned out. Oh, and I want to do that's right, I forgot about that. It's not wet here, is it? No. So what I want to do is, so I'm just following where the leaf would sort of go. And I think what I need to do is some of these. I bought these ages ago. They're a Microdor Aqua Painters. Now I'm wondering if it'll be the same sort of colour as the water. This looks very similar, doesn't it? It does. Alright, let me just... And I had a bit, this one's a little bit lighter, so thinking the two mixed together might be alright. Alright, just using a paintbrush. Might need some of this darker colour, I think. And maybe Just add a little bit of the blue, might darken it up a little bit. I think once it's dry, let's see if I've got anything else that's a little bit... No, I think that'll be fine. I might just add a little bit more of this. Not take it off so much. Okay, I think that's good. Alright, I'm going to let that dry and go and see if this pussycat would like some food. I already got food out for her, but of course she doesn't want any of that. Alright, I'll let that dry and I'll come back and show you. I wonder if I should put a little bit of green or a little bit of... Just wonder if I should add a little bit of blue to the birdie. Just get my water aqua brush. Just not so bright. Just trying to soak that up a little bit. I think I soaked it up too much. No, I don't think I like the blue anyway. Oh, what about a bit of red? Let me try a little bit of red. Oh, I think that's better. I think that's better. The red's better. The red's better. Alright, I'm going to let that dry now. I'm going to leave it. Alright, and I'll be back to show you when it's dry. Alright, so it's dry and I have glued my double pages, I've glued my two sides in at the same time. And I'm very happy with that. I think that's turned out really nice. I think it's going to be really nice when it's all done. And you never know, I might go back in and do a little bit more of something. I'll do some pictures at the end so you can see. But I'm really happy with that. I'm happy that's turned out. Alright, well thanks for watching. I hope you make a flower journal or something similar. It's a lot of fun and it's nice to have something to look back on. I also started putting the dates in now for when I make these. And I'll pop the date over here and it's over there on there. I keep forgetting to do that on things that I make. Just when you look back and oh god, when did I make that? So it's nice to know. So anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you can give me a like, that would be fantastic. It really helps to grow my channel. And I appreciate you for stopping by. And I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.